have to raise your voice for me to hear you. I am saying, honorable members, and Honorable Leon brought a very good suggestion. Honorable members, we are saying we are going to have a committee of the whole house. And in that committee of the whole house, can I have silence? Can you first, Honorable Minister of Finance, move a motion and we go into a debate?
I would like to request the executive, the appropriation bill, we passed it and should have taken effect on 1st July. We are now into the financial year. Before we even move to consider, would the executive address us under what legal regime and what will happen now that we don't have a law in place? So that AG.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, as you have clearly stated, the President has returned the Appropriations Bill under Article 91(3)(c) of the Constitution. We are all aware that the financial year in Uganda starts on 1st July of every subsequent year. Before I direct myself exactly on the provisions of the law, Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, it is indeed the constitutional mandate of Parliament to appropriate money against the proposals that have been made by the President in the budget estimates in accordance with Article 156. While we exercise this mandate, the approval of the budget must be done in comparison to the budget that is presented by the Executive. That means this is a shared responsibility of both the Executive and the Parliament. Honourable Chimosho did mention here that we were all in the House when this bill was passed. And this Parliament constitutes a front bench and a back bench. And therefore we are collectively responsible for the decisions that were made in this House on that day. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, the decision for the President to return the bill is also founded in law. And the decision of the President to return the bill to this House is backed by both by Constitution and even our rules of procedure. And as such, we are not operating outside any provision of the law. While we do this appropriation, honourable colleagues and members, we need to consider the priorities both of government and also the available resources. So, Right Honourable Speaker and honourable colleagues, when the bill is brought back to Parliament, it should not be taken as an offensive act by the Executive. Right Honourable Speaker and honourable colleagues, the framers of this Constitution were alive. The framers of this Constitution were alive to the fact that there will come a day when July 1 comes to pass before the Appropriations Act is passed. In Article 154(4), the exercise of the executive authority by the President to issue a warrant can be done before 1st July or after. Honourable colleagues, we don't have a crisis. Government, there are sufficient legal mechanisms to ensure that government continues running. I want to implore your colleagues, let us all sit down and reconsider.
Council, you mean a warrant has been issued?
No, the warrant has not been issued, but what Honourable Dur was asking is what happens, and we are saying that we are well within our rights because the Constitution anticipated that we can deal with the Appropriations Act even after 1st July. There is no warrant current.
So in
clarification. Madam Speaker,
print and electronic media is awash with what the PSST opined about, especially when he raised this same issue of the warrant. And I would like to seek clarification from the Attorney General whether the President, as of now that we do not have an appropriation act in operation, whether he has already written or already issued a warrant to issue funds from the consolidated fund until the expiry of 4 months as stipulated in that Article 154, which you have ably quoted.
Right Honorable Speaker, that the President has not issued a warrant under Article 154(4) of the Constitution. The President has chosen to take the path of coming back to the House so we can go through this budget and do this exercise.
Procedure, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, when it is satisfied that the Appropriation Act in respect of any financial year will not or has not come into operation by the beginning of the financial year, the President may, subject to the provisions of the article, authorize an issue of monies from the consolidated fund, and that is a warrant. Now, in the circumstance, today is 2nd, and that's why we say, because of the time, let's have this passed so that we do not bring in the issue of the warrant. We have the act passed, we have the bill passed, and then we have the act by it.
Procedure.
Then the motion.
Procedure.
Yes?
Yeah, but a smart way of answering this. Even this particular sitting of Parliament is costing money. That's why when we took a decision that the budget will be read in May and it will be processed in May and read in June, the idea was that day one under Section 13 of the Public Finance Management Act, that day one you issue authority to begin spending. I have seen ministers coming here. So who has fueled their vehicles? Under whose authority are they spending? So that's what you need to deal with practically.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, can I have the motion?
Procedure before the...
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
I rose on a procedural point, and the procedure relates to the motion you are about to move. The motion for the appropriation bill we passed was moved by a Minister of Finance who was acting on the delegated powers of the President, and it turned out in the President's letter that the executive had not been consulted. So as you move the motion, can you guarantee to this House that you are now moving after consulting the executive, and what you are going to speak here represents the position of the executive, so that we do not do the same thing again. Thank you.
Procedure, Honorable Speaker. For the Minister.
Honorable members, the Vice President of Republic of Uganda is in the House, representing the President of Uganda. The Prime Minister is here, and they can confirm that the delegated powers
Madam Speaker and colleagues, I rise to make a clarification on the issue that the Member of Parliament who had just spoken in that microphone
Honorable Guzili.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for clarifying to me his correct name and constituency. But the idea here is that the matter before us is for all of us, because all of us are members of parliament. I would like, Madam Speaker, to state that the way we are proceeding is extremely satisfactory, save for the threats which I'm receiving from the Honorable Panado. But in short, Madam Speaker,
we just want an
the motion
assurance.
which the Minister is going to present, Honorable Manda, the motion which the Minister of Finance is going to present is a motion that is coming to this House in full view of the knowledge and also the satisfaction of His Excellency the President. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Right Honorable
Thank
Speaker.
you.
Right Honorable Speaker,
Thank
the procedure.
Clarification from
The procedure. No, she gave me a speak after the Vice President.
Honorable Batua, I did not give you to speak. Honorable Batua, switch off the microphone. James, sit. No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Motion for a resolution of Parliament to reconsider the annual budget estimates for financial year.
Honorable members, I wish you could listen so that you're able to ask him what you want. Amero, I'm going to give you next. Yes.
I restart again. Motion of a resolution of Parliament to reconsider the annual budget estimates for the financial 2024-25. And I'm moving under Article 191, Part 3, Part C, and 115 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, Section 13 of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 171, and the Rules 143 and 149, Part 4, and 151 of the Rules of Procedure of this August House. Whereas, on the 28th March 2024, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, laid before Parliament for approval the proposed annual budget estimates and work plans for the financial 2024-25. And whereas on the 16th May 2024, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development laid before Parliament for approval a corrigenda to the annual budget estimates. Aware that in accordance with Section 13, Part 1 of the Public Finance Act, of the Public Finance Management Act, and Rule 149, Part 4 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament of Uganda, Parliament on 16th May 2024 considered and approved the annual budget estimates for the financial 2024-25. Parliament should first reconsider the annual budget estimates for the financial 24-25 in order to ensure that votes under statutory expenditure affected by the reallocation are considered in the Committee of Supply, and the allocations appropriated by the Committee of Supply are reflected in the schedule to the appropriation bill during its reconsideration. Now, therefore, be it resolved by this August House that the House is the schedule of the annual estimates for the financial year 2024 as attached to this motion in order to address the concerns raised by His Excellency the President. Madam Speaker and colleagues, I beg to move.
Seconded? Is it seconded? Yes. Seconded by Dr. Chen, by Helen, by Aroboy, by the whole front bench, by Max, by Isaac, by Nola, by Kavuma, by the whole house on this side. On this side. On this side. I am saying on the right hand side. There.
Procedure.
I did.
And if our next official starts supporting the motion, it becomes null and void because there is no right of voting here. We have a lot of challenges we must fight, but this one, let us not allow it. So, names mentioned, I am not seconding the motion. If I remain seated, I am not supporting the motion.
Is the motion seconded? Can you stand up, those who are seconding the motion? I have Kimosho, Orone, Ishagi, Ikojo, Sauda, Stephen Kangwajet, Tom Bright, Polot, Ochoa, I have Ochoa, I have Lukari, I have Kinyamatama, Magogo, I have Sara, I have Ayume, Sentai, Margaret, Isaac, Muzei, Alioni, Komakech, Mpindi, Emmanuel, by the whole front bench, the whole army.